Today's workshop is the AI Skill Development Workshop. It will be hands-on, and we are here to talk about AI. And we all have a starting point. Perhaps you've already had your starting point and you're already using AI productively. Maybe you've tried AI, but you've been underwhelmed with the results of your experiments, or maybe today is your starting point. So wherever you're at on your AI journey, you'll find something you can use from today's workshop. Let's get to it. I'm Dave Halton. I'm the president of Marketing Ideas for Printers. I'm also a member of Simple Academy, which is a community of the world's leading experts on AI skill development. At Simple, our mission is to guide you through the transition to an AI-powered economy, and my job is to help you as a commercial printer navigate that transition and guide you on the journey to become an AI workflow master. All right, so what is an AI workflow master? Well, just to be perfectly clear, this is a term that my AI community invented to create a shared language around this idea. And this is what we mean by an AI workflow master. If we zoom in on this, this is a post on X. It's from Andrew Wilkinson. He's a billionaire that runs an internet holding company. You can think of him like the Warren Buffett of internet companies. And so this is his post on X, hiring for an AI first director of finance. So if this isn't a post for hype, he's running a serious business. He's hiring for a serious role. And if you look at this post, kind of the punchline of this post is he's looking for someone that can do the work of 10 people by using AI. And that's the reality we're in today, is people applying for jobs need to demonstrate that they can do the work of 10 people with the assistance of AI. So when we look at AI workflow masters, there's really three things that means. It means that in your current role, you are able to do the work of 10 people using AI. That also implies that in your future roles, you'll be able to learn new roles and skills 10 times faster. And then finally, the last part of it is proving that you can do that and prove you can do that work with AI in the form of a certification. So all of that gets bundled up into the term AI workflow master. So we're going to learn through doing with AI. That's the best way to learn, is just by actually doing. And so very shortly, we're going to have an exercise to kick this off. So to get ready for that, go ahead and have your favorite AI tool ready. Now that can be anything. That can be ChatGPT. That's the horse I rode in on. That's the one I'll keep riding, along with others. That could be Claude by Anthropic, Google Gemini, Microsoft Copilot. Any of those will work. So if you have a favorite, go ahead and get that ready. If you don't have a favorite yet, if you're just getting started, just go to chatgpt.com and create an account. It'll take you about 30 seconds. All right, the next part, and I need to open up my chat window to be ready for this next part. So I want to make sure we have some proof that there are some people here. So tell me why you're here. You can give me an A or a B or a C. A means that you are serving customers, you're running jobs, things like that. If you're an employee doing the work. B means you're a solopreneur and maybe you're supporting printers with creative or marketing or specialty services. And then C means you're the owner. You're running the show and the buck stops with you. So if you can go ahead and find your chat and just drop that in and tell me why you're here, that'll be helpful for me as we move forward. There'll be a few moments where we can maybe kind of move in different directions depending on what we've got. All right, I need all of you to step up. There we go. I got a few others joining in. So, all right, we've got the crowd participation. Thank you for doing that. So no matter which of those you picked, today's workshop will give you tools to move faster and perform better. Now, so we're probably going to lean this a little bit more towards the owner perspective, but we'll talk about all of those perspectives. All right, I'm going to set the stage with a little bit more, one more exercise, not an exercise, but kind of a comment about the AI workflow master. We're going to be talking about that a lot, and I'm going to encourage you to start thinking about AI workflow prompts. To kind of set the stage for that, if you have not yet been to aiforprinters.com to check out the tip of the week, I would encourage you to do that. And there's three different things that I want to talk about here. And it's this progression of a simple prompt, a prompt upgrade, and then an AI workflow prompt. So when I talk about a simple prompt, that's just a basic question in, a basic answer out. For instance, if you were to look at the current tip of the week, it would look like this. I'm going to just pull this up and we'll just run it. The current tip of the week has this simple prompt: help me audit our print shop's current quality system using Crosby's 14 steps. Ask me one question at a time, wait for my response, and then continue to the next. Keep it simple and help me identify what we're doing well, what we're missing, and where we can improve. Okay, so that is a simple prompt. Well, even there, it's just a little bit more than a simple prompt. We're getting good information here, so we can see information comes in, and AI is going to give us information back. We could keep running with that, but for the interest of time, I want to show you also what a prompt upgrade looks like. So you're going to get better answers with a prompt upgrade, but it's a little bit, still a little bit on the manual side, I guess you could say. So it's a little bit longer. And again, this is the one that is currently featured at AI4printers.com. I'm not going to go really deep into it, but I do want to set the stage for you here. So this is a prompt upgrade is what we're calling this. Just goes a little bit beyond that simple prompt. Same topic, looking how to improve quality. And now what you're going to see is AI is going to be a little more interactive here. Would you like, in the terms of quality, would you like the full list of Crosby's 14 steps or a simplified version? We're getting some interactivity in there. And so then the next part is we're going to look at the AI workflow prompt. This is a guided prompt. It's more strategic. It's scalable. This is where the magic happens, and we're going to be talking more about that as this workshop goes. So just to set that stage, let me show you what an AI workflow prompt looks like. We're going to stay high level on this for now, but I do want to point out a few things here, and we'll talk more about this as we go. So here's what the AI workflow prompt looks like. And I got a little extra information on the top. It's all right, we'll take that out. So the AI workflow prompt, this is the equivalent of bringing in a world-class consultant to work with you. This consultant is going to guide you through your quality audit. And what we're going to do is we're going to do this in multiple steps where it's you working with AI and having checkpoints all along the way to produce this quality study here. And so I wanted to set the stage with that. We're going to have an opportunity to run that in more detail a little bit later. Not this particular prompt, but looking at what a workflow prompt is. So that is where we're going. Again, there's kind of just this progression of a simple prompt. Tell me a knock-knock joke. That's a very simple prompt. AI will do that. We can do more. We can upgrade that prompt, or we can work with AI at a consultant's level, basically, through the use of an AI workflow prompt. All right, let's keep going. Here are the prompts that I just pasted in. I'll just go through those. And let's talk about you and AI skill development. This is our agenda. This is where we're going today. And there's 3 actions needed to become an AI workflow master. We're going to talk about the 3 opportunities that exist for AI workflow masters. And then we'll talk about the 3 options for participating in an AI saturated world. Spoiler alert, here's what's coming. You will have the opportunity to claim your company champion certification scholarship. It's $4,000 in AI certifications and training, and you get it because you were smart enough to show up today, and you can claim that. So if that is something that you want to claim, just go ahead and drop your email address into the chat at any time, and we'll make sure to get you set up with that. We'll talk about that more at the end of the presentation, but just a quick overview of the benefits. There's really 3 pieces to that. There is the AI Workflow Practitioner certification. That is 9 ready-to-use business-focused AI workflows and AI workflow prompts, just like we looked at. And that'll teach you how to learn how to use those. And you can tell the world that you are an AI workflow practitioner with the certification that comes with that. The second part of it is the AI Workflow Expert certification. And that is where you can actually learn how to build an AI workflow prompt. And that's through the series of 8 self-paced workshops. There's actually 9. There's kind of an introductory one there. So with that, you actually get the AI Workflow Expert certification to promote your new skill as an AI workflow builder. The practitioners, everyone in your company can have that. The workflow expert that's on the screen now, there's a limit of 1 per company. So if you claim that today, that is yours. Let's move on. Who is claiming these scholarships? We are talking about serious AI people. People, who's a serious AI person? Is people that either are or wants to become AI workflow masters. If you don't feel like a serious AI person yet, it's time to change that. It is within your reach, and you will be a serious AI person by the end of this workshop. So just a reminder that if you want to get that scholarship for free, that's something that you should do on this call. So if you think you might drop off before the end of this call, just go ahead and drop your email address into the chat now to claim your scholarship. So now let's talk about those 3 actions associated with AI skill development: productivity, performance, and engagement. Starts with this simple question. How can AI help me do my work faster and easier? Good question to ask. Why else would we want to do that if it's not going to deliver on that? Well, what we're going to do is we're going to look at how AI can help us build a toolkit of all of our areas of responsibility and the daily work we do in those areas of responsibility. That's what we mean by breaking down the role, tasks, and deliverables. And so if we look at all of the areas of responsibility, it might look something like this. If you were looking at a productivity toolkit for sales and marketing in commercial printing, your roles and responsibilities might look like this. There's several of them on the screen. And so this is going to be customized specifically for you in just a moment when we do that exercise. But when we do that, what you're going to see is those are going to come across the top like this. This is your roles and responsibilities. They'll go across the top. And then when we build that, we're going to look in each column, and that's the daily work you do within each area of responsibility. Let me pause here. This looks like a lot of information on the screen, and you have permission, and actually I would actually require you to ignore it for now. We're going to bring more attention to that in a little bit. But at this time, we're going to take a few moments to help create your toolkit for your role right now. So this is the point where you can have your AI up and ready, and we are going to run this prompt. Now, again, it can look a little bit intimidating. Don't let it be intimidating, but it's very easy to use. So I'm going to drop this into the chat. Let's see. I need to make sure I'm getting the right one. Okay, here it is. I'm going to drop this into the chat. Now, promise me this. Go ahead and copy it, but do not run it right away. And you'll understand why in a moment. So here it comes into the chat. And it's going to look like a wall of words. So you can go ahead and copy that. And we're going to build your own productivity toolkit. I'm going to do it at the same time right along with you. Again, reminder that don't run it quite yet. There's one thing that I want you to take a look at here, but you can paste it into your AI. And if you look at just those top 3 lines, that's the part before you run it. I want you to adjust that for you. What is your role? What is the size of your company? And what is your industry? Everyone here, I'm assuming, is commercial printing for the industry, but your role and your company size may be different. So adjust those 3 things to match your reality. And then when you do that, then go ahead and run that. Now, what you are doing is you are building your own personal productivity toolkit. My screen is a little bit on the smaller side, so as this comes out, it actually tends to fill up more than the width of my screen. But if we look across the screen here, we will see that there are the roles and responsibilities as if I was the owner of a 10-person commercial printing company. Depending on your roles and your company size, yours might look a little bit different. And so we're starting to build that toolkit now. So our experience shows that if you take a look at this toolkit, it's going to be about 80 to 90% accurate right out of the box. If you see something in there that says, yeah, that's not quite right. For instance, if you were looking at this and let's just pick something random. Let's say that your compliance and business risk was not part of your role and responsibility. Just have that conversation with AI. You just say, I don't do compliance and business risk. Choose something else for me. Nothing magic about the words that I'm using here. I'm just typing those in, and we are just fine-tuning what that is. For today, it's all right to be at that high level. So we can work with AI and let it fine-tune that. And if we were doing this in the more thoughtful version that we're not going on the workshop mode here, we can do that. But if you want to do that, just take some time, adjust the columns, adjust the individual elements in there. So I'm going to say, just so it can keep us going, I'll follow that recommendation. It already assumed that recommendation for me. We're fine-tuning our personal productivity toolkit. All right, I'm going to let that one keep on running for a little while. Let's go back to our slides. So on your screen, what you created is not a toolkit yet. You have a toolbox with a bunch of labels on it. It only becomes a toolkit when we fill it with tools. How do you fill it with tools? So what's on my screen right now is a toolkit. And so if we were to look at this and say, I would really like that toolkit for sales and marketing and commercial printing, this is available. This toolbox has all the tools in it. This toolkit is available. However, if you want to build your own toolkit, that's where we go to that scholarship and that AI workflow expert. That's where you learn how to build the tools for your own toolkit here. Okay, so let's unpack that a little bit more. What does that mean? So I'm going to demonstrate to you the AI workflow for a lead scoring model, which helps you stop guessing at which leads to follow up with and start focusing on the sales that matter most. So let's go ahead and do that. So if we talk about the AI workflows, if you think back to where we started, here's our simple, here's our upgraded, and here's our AI workflow prompt. Now we're going to see one of those AI workflow prompts in action. It's the one associated with this tool, the lead scoring model. So let me get that ready for you, and we're going to put that into play. And let me pop open my sidebar just for a moment again. And we'll just go ahead and run that prompt. So I'm going to close my sidebar just to keep us nice and tidy here. Big, long wall of words. You don't need to worry a bit about that wall of words. All you need to do is be able to copy and paste. It's as simple as that. And so now here we are using AI along with us as our assistant, as our really just a high-powered assistant. What you're going to see here is it's going to come alongside us all at every step here. And we're going to work with AI one step at a time. And so AI is going to introduce each step. The first step is define a lead scoring objective. And AI is coming along and asking us, how is it going to help us best? It's asking us, what are the current challenges you're facing in prioritizing leads? Some examples that often apply to print shops. Too many quote requests that never convert. Difficulty identifying which inquiries are from serious buyers. No system to rank repeat customers versus cold leads. Sales reps spend time chasing the wrong opportunities. So if AI is asking us, what are you working on here in this step? What are the current challenges? So let's just pick a few of them. Let's just stay high level here, and we're just going to just pick a few of those. You can add your own as well, of course. But there is step one. AI has come alongside and saying, like, here's the draft list of lead scoring objectives tailored to my simulation company, Print Perfect. Okay, so as we're working on this lead scoring model, AI is saying, let's have a checkpoint here on this first step. Does this match up with your sales priorities? If it doesn't, we can work with AI, and we can adjust the priorities on that. But we're just staying high level today, and so we'll just say confirmed. Once confirmed, we'll move to step two, identify high value leads or lead attributes. So now we're moving to another phase. We're well beyond just the information in, information out. We're having some thoughtful conversations with AI, saying, okay, what is step 2? Well, now we need to identify high value lead attributes. AI comes alongside us and says, what characteristics make a lead valuable to print perfect? And it's actually offering some suggestions here too. We could take some time, some more thoughtful time, and go on those, but we're going to stay high level. And AI is saying, does this reflect the ideal prospect profile? After a few thoughtful moments, we would say, yes, it does. Or we can adjust it if we need to. AI comes back and says, let's work together, but let's confirm the work that we're doing at each step here. AI is rolling that out for us. And now we've completed step 2. Again, we're moving fast through this, but if we were to do this for real with your actual work, we'd have a few more thoughtful moments. Does that reflect the ideal prospect profile? And we could take a look at that and say, like, why does it matter? And take a look at that. And we'll agree. We'll be very agreeable with AI today just to keep on going through that. So now we've completed step 2. We can move on to step 3 and define the engagement signals. Which of these behaviors typically signal buying intent at print perfect? Here's a starter list. And again, if we do this in a more meaningful way, we would take those thoughtful moments and say, does that reflect those, or do we want to add any behaviors? So we'll just say that, yes, this is a good list. We'll let AI keep on doing the hard work for us. We'll just keep on cheering it along on the side here. And so AI is confirming that here are our ranked list of engagement signals. All of these would signal some kind of engagement. And here's our checkpoint again. Is this accurate? We'll just say it's accurate, which means we're going to move on to step 4. Step 3 is complete. Step 4 is assigning weights and scoring rules. And AI is asking for a little more information from us before we actually do that. Some actions and attributes are more important than others. A few questions before scoring. Should repeat buyers automatically receive a high base score, and so forth. And we'll just, for today, we'll say, I agree with your list. I'm taking the lazy way out. I'm just being very agreeable with AI. The more thoughtful we are with it, the better results it will get. But you can see that it is with just very little effort. We're still getting great results here. Now we're saying, like, what does that ranking look like? If we are trying to create our lead scoring model, we're seeing it starts to come together here. How do we score our leads? When they do these activities. Okay, we are getting actually pretty close to the end here. So our confirmation is, does this scoring system prioritize leads effectively for your team? Why, yes, it does. It's the best one I've seen all day. So we are locked in. Step 4 is complete. We move on to step 5, implementing a system for score updates. And let's confirm how your team wants to score updates. And it's giving us some suggestions and a proposed update plan. And we can keep on going. And I'm going to just kind of hit these really fast now. If I remember right, I think there's probably one more step after this. So we are in the home stretch. And even though the details are going by fast, the important thing to notice is that we are getting a large amount of work done in a very short amount of time. And we will go to that final step. So we've just looked at that integration strategy. And again, we'll be very agreeable and say, yep, that's beautiful. That works. Let's keep on going. Step 6 is done. Step 7 moves on and saying, let's do our final review and implementation. Few final questions to ensure we've got everything covered. That's nice. AI is always helpful to reveal blind spots. And that concludes the process. That is how an AI workflow prompt works. So if we go back here, let's go back to our regular program already in progress. What we did is we just ran this prompt. So it's a very long prompt. We have just reduced several hours, maybe even days of work down to just, well, in our case, just moments, probably less than 20 minutes if we do it in a real world environment. Actually, I just had this happen. I'll talk more about Corey's experience in a moment. Actually, I'll just drop the teaser out there right now. Corey is someone that ran a workflow prompt like this, and he took what he estimates would have taken over 2 weeks of work, went down to 35 minutes. So that it sounds unbelievable to say it out loud, but that is what really happens. It also brings us to the first of the 3 turkey problems. And so there are 3 turkey slides in this presentation. So you'll get bonus points if you find all of them here. I experienced the turkey problem head on when it became clear that AI was going to impact the way we provide marketing services to help you sell more printing. This comes from a book called The Black Swan. It's an amazing book. It was published around 2009. It's about the fact that we live in a very unpredictable world where the things that matter the most for the long-term success of the economy, our society, really everything else, that can all be impacted by something unpredictable that comes out of nowhere. So what do you do when you live in a world that's like that? Well, in one of the chapters, the author talks about what he calls the turkey problem. The turkey problem goes like this. The turkey wakes up every single day and is predictably cared for by the farmer. It gets fed every single morning. It gets to go out and play in the yard with its turkey friends. It has a really nice place to hang out every night. So this turkey is basically taken care of, and that repeats itself day after day after day after day until eventually the turkey concludes, this is what being a turkey must be like, and life will be this way forever. Until one day, usually right before a holiday, like Thanksgiving, when a turkey usually ends up on the table, something comes out of nowhere and changes. The farmer comes out, grabs the turkey by the neck, and all of a sudden, lights out for the turkey. So the turkey problem shows up like this in the real world when it comes to AI. The turkey problem says, okay, AI can do this task, but certainly it can't do, and then you fill in the blank with whatever your favorite thing is that AI can't do. And here's what I want to suggest, that if it's on your screen right now, and I don't have that screen right now, but if you can imagine the screen that we had up earlier with our productivity toolkit, if it's on that screen, now I'm assuming you've already run that, so if you haven't, you can go ahead and still do that. But if that task is on your screen, I'm going to suggest that you plus AI can do that job at least 10 times faster with no compromises in quality and usually an increase in quality. Okay, there's a lot to say there. So let's unpack that a bit. It's you plus AI. That's the first thing. If you notice what we did when we went through that workflow prompt, it wasn't just us letting AI run loose. It wasn't us doing all the work. It was us plus AI working together. And it's you plus AI can do the job at least 10 times faster. After seeing what we just saw and after hearing what Corey said, there should be no question that you can get at least 10 times faster, get that work done. Then the next one, no compromise in quality. And that has to be true because you are still the checkpoint as we move through the work. If you think about what you saw, there was multiple steps in there. Each one of those is a checkpoint where you are quality control. So if there's a quality issue, that finger points right back at you. You are providing quality control in that one. And then that last part, no compromise in quality and usually an increase in quality. Now, this will become increasingly true over time. I've seen it myself so many times. 2 years ago, when AI was just kind of starting to warm up, maybe that wasn't as true at that time. But AI is progressing fast, and that gets more and more true seemingly every single day. So that's your current role. What about the future role? How do you avoid being the turkey in that future role? Well, with the future role, you can also significantly accelerate and in many times skip the lengthy learning process. Because the best way to learn something is to do it. And that's what we just did with that AI workflow prompt. We were actually doing AI with AI. That's the best way how to learn to do something with AI. All right, so that was our productivity. Let's take a look at the next action, which is performance. So on that grid, most people are going to find maybe 5 or 10 workflows in the productivity toolkit that really move the needle in saving you a bunch of time. Not unusual to find that people will maybe shave 20% of their daily work time off of their lists there. And if that happens, here's an easy way to think about that. If you used to do your job Monday through Friday, now you can do it Monday through Thursday and take time on Friday to be more strategic. And that's what moves us into the performance aspect of AI. Because with AI, a great way to become more strategic is to run performance experiments. And whoever runs the most performance experiments wins. Let's bring that closer into our world. If you're the printer running the most performance experiments, AI will help you be the printer that wins. Let's talk more about that. So we just looked at the productivity toolkit. Now we're going to shift to the performance experiment toolkit. So go ahead and get your AI again, and I'll give you instructions on now how you can build your own performance toolkit. What you will see when we build this one is you're going to see the key performance indicators. Those are what are on the screen right now. When we run the toolkit, those are going to show up across the top. And in plain English, these are the things that you are responsible for doing better over time in your role. And then in the columns, you're going to see a combination of experts in the field and known strategies from those experts to help you get the results that you desire. So we are going to run this prompt. And again, don't do anything with it yet. Let me load it in there for you. Make sure I grab the correct one. And I'll copy that one. I'll drop that into the chat. This one's a little bit funny. The meeting software tends to turn some of that punctuation into some emojis and icons in there. Don't worry about that. When you copy about that, it'll turn back into what it needs to be here. So go ahead and grab that. And now we're going to go back to where we were here. And I'm going to ask you to do the same thing I'm going to do, which is to pull up that same chat. It should still be on your screen where you had your productivity toolkit from before. Now just go ahead and everything that was in there, just copy it and paste it in. And this time you can just run it. We don't have to change anything because AI already knows about you. You can just add that in after the productivity toolkit from before and let the performance toolkit run. So now here is, you should be seeing something similar to what I'm showing here. This is the first draft of the AI performance toolkit for the owner of a 10-person commercial printing company. It'll adapt to what you had in there before. So each KPI column includes 9 specific problems to be solved and the experts best suited to help. So there's our measurements across the top. And again, my screen is small, so I'm just going to scroll left and right. And you can see dropping in underneath. Now we are getting expert advice from world-class experts on how to do the thing in that column, how to increase monthly revenue, how to improve job turnaround time, and on and on and on. So go ahead and make sure that you've run that prompt. And again, just remember that if that prompt looks scary, if it looks like a wall of text, it's because it's a wall of text. But it's not scary. All you need to do is copy and paste and just watch everything else come to light. So these are all valuable prompts that'll help you move forward. So on your screen, you should see something similar to what I had going on my chat GPT, and now it's on the screen again on this slide. Same thing, another wall of text. And if we look at that wall of text in itself, it's not that interesting, but what it represents is very interesting. This is the type of things that save you time and create value. This is the work that represents tens of thousands of dollars, and we're compressing this down into clock time and calendar time. We're just compressing both of those down to get it done very, very fast. So we're looking at the Performance Experiment Toolkit with the AI workflows for sales and marketing and commercial printing. So again, this is a toolkit that is built and ready to use. You do not have to build these when you subscribe to this. These are all there and ready to go. You can also learn how to build these types of AI workflow prompts through that workflow expert certification. So we're going to take a look at one of these now. We'll just look at one, and we are going to look at increasing retention through hyper-personalized experiences. And so we are going to look at this performance experiment, and we'll go ahead and run that. So let me go ahead and grab that and drop that into our chat GPT here. One note as I'm doing that, remember that something I mentioned earlier, I'm going to say it again now. I'm using chat GPT. These toolkits, these AI workflow prompts are platform agnostic. They will work on any of the AI tools out there. So if we were looking at this to increase retention through a hyper-personalized experiences, now we have a toolkit that is, an AI workflow that is going to help us do that. Just like before, we're walking through the different steps. Please provide the details. And I'm just going to be lazy here because AI knows a little bit about me. I'm just going to, for today's purposes, I'll say answer for me. And so the question was, again, details on how your customer interactions are currently personalized. And we could say that email, website, customer service, and we're just letting AI answer. This is where you would answer if we were to do this in that more meaningful way. So if you were to answer with those type of answers, AI will then say, here are some gaps and opportunities. Email segmentation could be enhanced. Website personalization could be improved. Customer journey automation is minimal. Let's work on that. On and on. And so we're just going to continue. And again, now we're kind of just repeating the same process that we did before. AI is asking us for more information to help us do the work at each step. We are coming in to do the quality control to make sure that the work is accurate. And we are continuing on with each step here. So I am going to let that one run. I think in the interest of time, I'm just going to kind of abandon this one for the moment, and so we can continue with our presentation here. Actually, we'll just keep letting it run through. We're about halfway through. So our step 3 is to implement AI-driven customer segmentation, and AI is coming along and suggesting on how this is going to work. Remember, this is all under the banner of increasing retention through hyper-personalized experiences. And AI is suggesting here's how we can do this now, and then even building that experiment. And does that segmentation strategy align? Yep, sure does. Again, if we were doing this for real, we would stop at each one of those and put some thoughtful analysis into that so that we can provide that quality control checkpoint. AI is going to continue with step 4, which is to design hyper-personalized customer journeys. And so, like, what would that journey look like for a new customer journey, for a high-value repeat buyer journey, for a lapsed customer journey? We're getting all of our different journeys in here with the tools that we have available to us. Does that align with our expectations? Yep. So we will say that's all good. Again, you can answer with your own information there to personalize that for you, to actually do the work specific for you, for your situation. Step 5, how do we automate personalized interactions across channels? Well, here's a few of them. Recapping what it already knows and saying, let's do some automation here. We could do reorder nudges, smart cross sells, and you can see them just kind of rolling out here. And is that the type of thing we want to pursue? Yep, we definitely want to do all of that. And at the risk of sounding like the broken record, remember, this is where you can fine-tune the process by saying, nope, let's not do that, or what about this? You can continue to fine-tune that. And AI is going to work with whatever information we give it. And then finally, we can get our final strategy. Is if that aligns, we'll just say continue. And AI is going to take us into the home stretch here with giving us our strategy. Everything that we just did, it's going to put that together in a nice, easy to use, easy to understand strategy report. So we'll let that one keep running. That is kind of the end of the work that we are doing there. And let's talk about this. Let's go back to that performance experiment toolkit. We just ran one of those. Everything on this screen and in your performance experiment toolkit, those can all be turned into a bunch of experiments to help you move forward. AI can help you run those experiments in a hugely efficient manner. You just saw a little teaser of that there. So once again, if you've noticed, AI is pulling information out of us. I was being a lazy person on there, and that'll help bring things to the surface that you may not have even thought about. So what we have here is a bunch of experiments. And think about this, as whoever runs the most performance experiments wins. These are the things that we believe will make things better. So we help enhance the brand messaging, or we increase qualified lead volume, and so on. All the things that are in that toolkit. And if you've ever set out to accomplish a goal in business or in personal life, you know that it starts by just doing that first thing to bring you closer to that goal. Now, if you knew how to do that very first thing, well, you'd already be doing it. So finding that first thing to do is really step number one. And then, just because we're going to stretch ourselves towards the target, we're going to sit down and we're going to create a list of ideas, come up with a list of probably 10 more things. And if you've ever done this before, if you've paid attention to the experiments you've ran, you'll have come to the conclusion that out of those 10 great, wonderful ideas, every one of which you thought would help, maybe 8 of them will have made no difference whatsoever. You'll try something, it might not be as helpful as you had hoped. You made promises to yourself about the results, and then it didn't work. And you know what? That's fine. That's the risk that comes with running an experiment. You're also going to find that one of those things that you thought would make things better, maybe it even actually makes it worse. You thought something would improve the results, but progress took it in the other direction. And again, that's just part of experimenting. But then lastly, somewhere in those 10 ideas, there's that one thing that's going to make the difference. And if you knew which one it was, you just do that thing. You wouldn't even have to have this conversation. We wouldn't even need to talk about experiments. You would just do that one thing making the difference. So we know that in order to produce better results, what we need to do is we need to run as many performance experiments as we can. And that's why we say this whole game here is whoever runs the most performance experiments wins. Now, let's just pretend that you and I are very similar in our expertise. Now, in reality, maybe you're better at marketing than me. Maybe you're worse at marketing than me. But for this conversation, let's pretend we're equally capable. We're working on a marketing project, and you're going to do it the old way without AI. I'm just going to run all of these marketing experiments as fast as I can. And at the end of the quarter, we'll find that I will have run circles around you because I ran the most performance experiments. And that takes us to turkey slide number 2. You should now be able to say 2 things. You should be able to say, AI can help me create a lead scoring model. We did that with the productivity toolkit. You should also be able to say, AI can help me develop a hyper-personalization strategy that enhances customer retention. We just did that with the performance experiment toolkit. And you might also be saying, but certainly it can't replace my expertise. So if you ran that prompt to create your own list of performance experiments, and then you looked at those experiments for your current role, you will find that you plus AI can run the performance experiments at least 10 times faster with no compromise in quality and usually an increase in quality, not compared to yourself without AI, but actually compared to the world's top experts. So not only is your expertise in danger, every expert's expertise is in danger. And this is the major aha moment for people in this new AI world, being able to run these performance experiments faster than anybody else. And even better, in future roles, imagine becoming the person who, no matter how the world changes around them, is able to produce results 10 times faster than anybody else, still adapting to that changing world. All right, so then let's talk about engagement. And so when it comes to engagement, we need to do two things. One is we need to track results. And second is we need to communicate progress and expertise in the form of certifications. So we have a process in which we just very simply look at what did you work on? How long did it take you to do with AI? And how long did it take you to do before without AI? That's going to calculate a number. Your job is to make that number go up as high as you possibly can for everyone on your team. Now, if you don't think measuring progress is a big deal, just think about the last time you posted on LinkedIn or any social media. What's the first thing you did? You start tracking the results and checking for that little red dot and say, what's our progress here? I did it myself. I prepare for this event and I put the event out on LinkedIn, publish the event. Look, did anyone sign up? And we're checking progress. Thank you for signing up, by the way. I'm glad you're here. So that's just even more proof that tracking makes an enormous difference in engagement. That's what makes social media so addicting for so many people. And then the second part of that is the certifications. Now, certifications mark and reward your progress. Certifications allow you to prove your AI expertise and promote it for you and your team to show the whole world you know how to use AI to get results. Okay, we are about 45 minutes in, and we're actually getting close to the finish line, probably about 10 minutes away. But let's take a look at the opportunities that result from becoming an AI workflow master. And so what we're looking at here is the opportunities. We know that every time there is a major shift in technology, there are just orders of magnitude of opportunity created in the economy. Now, you've lived through some of these already. We all have. There's the PC revolution. Microsoft came out of nowhere. Now they're world famous and fabulously wealthy. The internet revolution. Believe it or not, there was a time when no one knew about Amazon. And at that time, they came out of nowhere. Now they're everywhere. Social media. Facebook came out of nowhere. The transportation revolution. Uber came out of nowhere. So how do you find these opportunities? And how do you be the one to come out of nowhere? Well, you see the opportunity and you take action. So what are those opportunities? The first opportunity is the AI Workflow Master opportunity number one. That's for employees. Your opportunity is to upskill yourself as an employee. I know that we had at least one of you answer that that's you. You are that person. So you are the people running the equipment, managing the projects, you're keeping the jobs flowing. AI can help you do the work of 10 people, not by replacing anyone, but by making you way more valuable. There used to be kind of a stigma, I think, that went along with that. People would start to want to use AI and say, oh, I better not use AI. I'm going to get myself replaced and get fired. You're worried that you might be setting yourselves up to be replaced by AI and then let go. But think about this. Who's going to get let go? It's not the person using AI doing the work of 10 people. It's the other 9 people not being productive that are going to get fired. So I won't camp out on this one too long here today, but if you're in that specific role, there is a lot of upside for you. And as a business owner, these are the kind of employees you want on your team. Workflow Master opportunity number 2 is for the solopreneurs in the room. I don't think we had anyone in that mix, so I'll just talk about that one really quickly. But that could be the freelancers or consultants or designers, specialists who support the print shop from the outside. So if that's you, you can scale your solo operation by delivering more value faster. Just a crazy stat. Experts are saying that in the next few years, we're going to see the world's first $billion valuation solopreneur company. And just even saying it sounds ridiculous. So let's just even scale it down to a $100 million solopreneur company. Truth is, these already exist. The 1 million, the 10 million, the 100 million solopreneurs, they're there. And another thing to think about, I've talked with a number of printers ready to transition to their encore career. Perhaps that's where AI can help you get there as that solopreneur in your encore career. But let's keep moving because most of you on this call are inside the print shop and not orbiting around it. So let's talk about what really moves the needle if you own the whole thing. Excuse me. That is Workflow Master opportunity number 3, which is to make more money as a company. Now the focus shifts to the team that you employ. So what happens when an organization full of people starts to apply these AI mastery methods to their roles? You get to a point where the employer that builds a team with the most AI workflow masters wins. Let's say that one again too. Whoever has the team with the most AI workflow masters wins. You move faster than your competitors, you find the new opportunities, and you execute the most AI-powered performance experiments. You'll be positioned to be that printer and marketing services provider that emerges out of the AI revolution. So let's talk about the three options. First option is do nothing. That's a bad idea. You'll soon be living in a world that expects you to use AI to do the work of 10 people. It's not enough to have that fleeting familiarity with AI. You need to know how to use AI to come alongside you to do real work every day. That real work, that's all the boxes for the AI workflows we talked about on those grids. So let's go back to this post here again from Andrew Wilkinson, his job posting. And if we look at this line, there's another interesting line in here where he says, would never hire a lawyer unless you absolutely had to. Now, at first, that might seem out of place, but here's what he's really being said if we paraphrase that a little bit. He's saying you would never spend company resources on external service providers unless you have tried to first solve the problem with AI yourself, and then and only then are you allowed to spend company resources on expensive outside service providers. So the turkey does nothing, and don't be that turkey today. You don't have to be the turkey. You can turn into an AI eagle. Could be a tough year for a lot of people, but it can be a very good year if we can help you get focused on the opportunities for AI workflow masters. So if you decide to do something, that's your next option. Now you can do this yourself. You really can, but it will take you time to filter through all of the AI buzz and hype to find the good stuff. So if you do it yourself, you have to hope you can get your AI skills to the point where you can stay ahead of all of the advances in AI, and that happens fast. And you can find others to help you do it too. Spend just a few moments on social media. You'll find plenty of ads offering AI help. But consider that if you've seen some things here today that you've not seen before, that might suggest to you that my AI community understands some things about AI that others do not, and that you might want to consider continuing your AI journey with marketing ideas for printers, because we are laser focused on helping printers with their AI journey. And that is exactly why we're offering this scholarship to help you get started. It's the Company Champion Certification Scholarship, which is $4,000 in AI training and certifications. And it's yours for free if you add your email address to the chat by the time we close this session out. And then we'll help you get set up with that scholarship. Here's what it includes. It includes the AI Workflow Practitioner certification. That is the 9 hyper valuable AI workflows. Those are yours to keep and use. You pass the exam on those AI workflows. Very easy exam to pass, by the way. Nothing intimidating about that. And when you do that, you get your AI Workflow Practitioner certification. And that is something that you can use to show the world that you know how to use AI to do real world work. That's normally $1,000, but that is free through today's workshop. And it's like test driving a powerful new operating system for your business without even spending a dime. That's free with the scholarship. That is free for everybody in your organization. The other part of the scholarship, the second part, it includes the AI Workflow Expert Certification. And that is 8, really 9 workshops designed to take you from AI novice to AI workflow expert. Teaches you how to build the AI workflows. When you do that, you receive your AI Workflow Expert certifications. That will teach you how to build AI workflows from scratch. It'll get you that certification. That is normally $3,000. That is also free with this scholarship. Now, there is a limit of 1 per company. So if you want to grab that one, you're here to do that. So just drop your email address in and we'll make sure we get you that to them. Now you can get both of those for $4,000 outside of the workshop, or you can claim the workshop or scholarship and get both of them at no charge. It's a high value offer, and honestly, it's a no-brainer. And I'm offering this scholarship to you because I love working with printers. I want to see you succeed with AI and not just play catch up. So you're either going to call me stupid for making such a high value offer, or I'm going to question your sanity for not accepting this high value offer. We can wrestle that out later if we need to. But for now, if you want to claim that, if you've not already done so, just drop your email address into the chat, claim the scholarship, and I'll take care of the rest to get you started. It's a no-risk way of sampling everything else in the AI Accelerator for Printers program. The other breaking news that hasn't made the slide deck yet is the scholarship also includes a 30-day preview of the AI MBA, which is a collection of over 3,200 AI workflows and workflow prompts that'll help you and your team in 7 major areas of business, like strategy and sales, human resources. There's a ton of ready-to-use focused AI assistance in that AI MBA. As a matter of fact, if we go all the way back to the very beginning where I talked about the simple and the upgraded prompt, and then to that AI workflow prompt, that is a prompt from the AI MBA. You'll have access to over 3,200 prompts just like that. All right, so let's bring this home. To wrap things up, the future belongs to AI workflow masters. And in your current role, that will allow you to do the work of 10 people using AI. In your future roles, that'll help you learn new roles and skills 10 times faster. And the certifications will prove to the whole world what you can do with AI. Now, for me, this is personal. I started exploring AI partly out of curiosity, but mostly because I wanted to make sure that my company, Marketing Ideas for Printers, was prepared for a world about to be saturated with AI. But it became much more than that. This is personal. I've spent my career helping printers succeed, and I've never seen a shift like this one. AI isn't a trend, it's a transformation, and you can approach this transformation not with fear, but with confidence. So I want you to have the tools, the confidence, and the support to not only keep up with AI, but to lead with AI. And that's why we've built this AI Accelerator for Printers program, specifically for printers like you, because it fits perfectly with our promise of helping you sell more printing. And with that, I'll wrap things up, and thank you for attending today's AI Skill Development Workshop.